This video is about one or two questions that are to do with the internet, the way the internet's organised, probably slightly niche parts of the specification. They're A-level questions. So this is to do with the idea of this uniform resource locator, and there's another video that talks about URLs and fully qualified domain names that you could have a look at. So this particular question is asking you to state the protocol and the domain name used in this URL. So the protocol is HTTP, so it's Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So protocol, remember, is just a set of rules for exchanging information, and in this case we're using HTTP. So quite a few people wrote down HTTPS for this, even though it's not HTTPS here, so just be really careful and read the question. The other thing, the domain name here is loverpug.org.uk. That's the actual domain name. So the thing that we need to avoid is writing down www. because lots of people decided that was a good idea, and it's not, because it's not part of the domain. But liverpug.org.uk is the domain. So then these bits further on, this is the page that we're actually looking at, and this is a folder where pictures are being kept. So it's a folder called pictures. So those things are not to do with the question, but they're part of the fully qualified domain. So let's move on. Our next question was to describe how domain names are organized. Well, domain names are organized into top level and second level domains. And it's a hierarchical organization. So the things to kind of try to remember is that there's a top level, and there's a second level, and top level domains, they're things like .org or .uk or .com, and they're all top level type domains. Second level domains are things like .ac for academic, or .co as part of .co.uk, that sort of thing. So they're second level domains. So the two things to remember is a top level and a second level. If you mention top level and second level and you give an example, you're going to get the marks for this. The other thing that can get you a mark is just to say that they're organized hierarchically, if you can spell it, and even if you can't, because we're not measuring spelling. I-C-A-L, I think. Hierarchical. So if you mention hierarchical, you're going to get a mark. If you've mentioned both top level and second level domains, you'll get the same mark. But if you've mentioned a nice example like these, you'll get a secondary mark there. So things to remember on this kind of question are the actual names for top level and second level, because if you say things like first level or whatever, that's not going to be the right. You need to get it exactly correct. It needs to be accurate. So top level and second level is what you're looking for. So the last bit on this one was explain the service provided by Internet Registries. Internet Registries are a company that allows us to register domain names. So their primary purpose is to register domains to people. That could be companies, so some kind of entity. So organizations, companies, people. So actual people or companies You've got to say this. You've got to say that register domains to these people. It's not enough just to say that they register domains. It's not enough to say that they just store domains. They store a list of domains and who owns them, but they don't just do storage. So why are they needed? Well, the best answer, really, the easiest answer to remember, is they're needed to make sure each domain is unique. So therefore, two people don't own the same domain. If two people owned the same domain, you'd have a problem with two websites being registered with that domain, two websites using that domain. It'd be very confusing if people were trying to go to one website and they ended up at another one. It would be very difficult then. You couldn't really register the mapping in the DNS system either. So that's the other thing that registries do, is to map, or at least to enter domain name mappings, so IP mappings into the domain name system. So a lot of people confuse this question to be about the DNS system. It's not really about the DNS system. A lot of people also just talked about IP addresses and making sure they were unique, and that again is not correct. So what we're thinking of is domains being registered to people and making sure that each domain is unique. They're the best ways of getting 2 points on this one.